Hi friends, it's Tilly. Yeah, that was the day pretty much. As far as I know, I have the day to myself. And figured, why not make a video? Just got out of therapy. It was a little odd today. Before I went in there, I kind of wanted to talk about emotional dysregulation. I feel that symptom sort of affecting me right now with this whole hearing that I had that turned out to be pretty good, pretty successful, pretty promising, but I can't feel it. It's something missing in me. It's like, will I even feel it when, when, and I mean, we were talking about the hearing, and I got there on time, and he made me wait for like nearly 10 minutes in the lobby while he was just kind of looking for something in his office, I think. Which the last 3 or 4 sessions he's done something like that. He has either had me come in, like last time I came in, sat down, and he's on the phone fixing a credit card mistake that was charged as credit card and wasn't supposed to be with a credit card company. And then he didn't compensate for that time of our session that he used to make a personal phone call. I don't know. And there have been a few times where he's just gone totally missing, and he, forgets to make an arranged time for our next meeting. He always says, "I'll text you," and then he forgets, and I don't have therapy that week, There have just been some weird things that I'm noticing about him. Well, I've noticed also him, there are days that he seems like his mood seems like it's very not the same always. And I guess in a therapist, you really kind of look for someone who's got a somewhat steady mood, at least professionally. But like, there's some weeks that it feels like he's just in a bad mood and like he doesn't like what I'm saying really. And there's some weeks when he's very empathetic, and then there are weeks like today where he's very strange. And I know that I put this puzzle together wrongly all the freaking time, but I just want to say what I saw today. Okay, I get there on time and ask to wait. I can hear him shuffling around in his office. He's kind of talking to himself a little bit, and then he finally tells me I can come in. He apologizes that it's so cold in the room, and I notice right away that he's doing this thing and wiping his nose constantly. I mean, to the point that it was almost interrupting, like, it was hard to talk over it, and I'm sure he wasn't able to really hear a lot of what I was trying to say because he's so busy going, okay. And midway through the session, I look over to my left, and I see sitting under the chair a red straw that's cut in half with scissors. Is Dr. Dan blowing lines of coke before I'm going in to see him? He was acting very fidgety, a little impatient, listening to me talk, like he kind of wanted me to hurry up and finish everything. He had forgotten a lot of really big things, like, we've been talking about my disability hearing now for months, and he called it your insurance thingy. Like, he just totally put it out of his mind. I don't know. And I'm starting to think, okay, this guy is supposedly a Christian fellow, and I had just noticed he's got a big certificate hanging out in the lobby that says he is a pastoral counselor. It's one of his degrees. But that would be, you know, sort of church-centered, or, you know, faith-centered, you know. And I don't really like that kind of counseling, but he doesn't bring it into our sessions at all. But I haven't noticed any other clients. He comes into that building basically whenever he tells me we're supposed to meet. It's like he just got there every time, not like he's been seeing patients all morning. And he's, you know, the way he acts, I'm just wondering what the heck's going on. I've wondered for a while now if he is perchance maybe just helping me out of kindness because my insurance isn't covering it or something. I've wondered that, because he seems to kind of only really do schedule therapy when he wants to schedule therapy. And, you know, I haven't been getting anything in the mail about my therapy. I don't know. I mean, it could be possible that he just felt really bad for me and didn't have very many clients, or I don't know. I just don't know. But then I saw that red straw and all that snorting and stuff, and it really... At one point I was talking and I almost said, "What's wrong with you? Why are you doing that? Like, you're snorting and doing that swallowing thing that, like, people do when they rail things up their nose." We were talking about, like, why I can't, or why I've never really experienced joy fully. It always seems like I hesitate to feel joy, but I can feel pain. And this is an example. I told him how there have been a lot of times in life where I felt a lot of joy, but looking back, I realized I was thinking delusionally at the time, so that just discredits it for me. And then, you know, trusting people is another big one. You know, and when times that in my life have gotten really great news, it seems like it's always preceded by something real, followed by something really negative happening, and so that's, I guess, why I just don't like to get too excited about things. I was really excited about him as a therapist, and now I'm like, well, is it happening again? Really? Like, the biggest thing that triggers me, which is, you know, those kinds of drugs and how they make people act, and when people lie to you and they don't tell you that they're taking them, and then you bond with them, you don't even realize you're just bonding with the ghost, the shell of the drugged out person, you know, and you don't even know the real person. So yeah, just some oddness about that, and I don't know how I feel about it. And he also, another thing is, sometimes I think that he tries to get me to talk too much about sex. He was he brought up Lance, and I was telling him about, you know, and I've told him this story before too, and he forgets, and that's another thing that kind of bothers me. I was telling him about how Lance used to pick my skin with needles everywhere. And, you know, he's like, was it a sexual thing? Did he get off on it? And I was like, no, I don't think so at all. And then he's like, I described it to him how he would do it, and he was like, and how can you say he didn't rape you? And I was like, that's not rape. That's like mutilating somebody, what he did to me, but it wasn't rape. And he was like, well, were you naked? Why does that matter? I don't know, no. Probably not, it was fucking winter, it was freezing. But, you know, it's like, I'm not talking about that right now. I'm not talking about... I don't know. He seems to have a weird thing that he likes to know about people's strange sexual... I don't know. He also has a bunch of books I was noticing today, titled things like Reforming the Sex Offender, How to Diagnose and Treat Sex Offenders, stuff like that. I don't know. He was really good at the beginning, and I don't want to say he's not anymore. Maybe he's just going through something. Maybe I'm just projecting the fear that I have with like everyone, that everyone is on something. I even feel that way with Renee sometimes, and that's just so awful. The first thing I always think when somebody's acting a little differently than I'm used to them acting is, what are they on? Are they taking something? But hey, I mean, that's one positive thing that I learned from Lance. He was terrible all around, but he did teach me a lesson. And that was, you know, a real life example lesson of why you never fuck around, even with pain pills. I know that people do recreationally sometimes use pain pills and stuff like that. I don't like that. I don't do it myself. I just don't get a good, pleasant feeling from painkillers. I just, you know, I mean, Percocet makes my head pound so badly that I want to take like Advil or something to make the pounding in my head go away. I don't know. Vicodin works pretty well, but it just feels like taking, you know, an over-the-counter like Advil or aspirin or something that just works. So, but anyway, I don't do it myself, but, and I know that it's not all black and white, you know, it's like, there are people that, you know, I mean, there are the people that need them, and I'm not talking about those people. So if you are one of those people that you have a legitimate diagnosed condition involving pain, you know, then I'm not, is not directed at you. But you know, before Lance came along, I was a little stupider, you know, and I would probably have been willing to mess around with that stuff. But I got a first-hand, worst-case scenario addiction before my very eyes, you know, experience involving someone that I loved. So, anyway, I'm just trying to, I'm gonna go now. I'm okay. Just a little spinning a little. Just got out of that therapy session and I just feel weird about it. Alright, I hope you guys are all doing well, guys and girls, right? Whatever you are, whoever you are.